Olá.
Olá,
Olá, Mariana. Fábio. Olá, Fábio. Welcome. English, right? Sorry, you're muted. Still muted. Let me try to unmute you. There you
¿Cómo
go.
están? ¿También?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Bien, bárbaro, bárbaro, especial.
Okay, so first of all, I'm making each one of you a co-host. So if you want to share something during your presentation, you'll be able to.
Ok.
Let me just see.
Mm,
Well, anyway, if anyone has a problem while trying to share your presentation, if you want to, let me know and then I can share it for you maybe.
Ok,
I think all of you are already a co-host.
great.
One sec. So any questions? Again, thank you all for participating in this roundtable. I think we have a great audience. We have 42 confirmed guests from different places, so I think it's going to be an interesting conversation. Bruna is joining us soon as well. Oi, Marcelo. Hi, Marcelo.
Now it's right. Hi,
How are you?
very good. And you? Hi,
I'm
Gabriel.
good. Thank you for joining us. So
So,
that's great. At this point, I've made all of you co-hosts of the meeting. So you can share presentations if you want.
great.
But any problem, let me know. Bruna, our director of the Brazil program at the Dialogue, will also join us. And we already have a few guests waiting to be admitted.
Good.
So we'll start in a few minutes. Oi, Alexandre.
Olá, tudo bem, Júlia?
Tudo bem?
Tudo bem, pessoal?
So we're waiting for a few more minutes before starting. We already have a few guests waiting to be admitted, and I guess we're all ready. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're waiting 2 more minutes to get started and looking forward to it. Okay, so I think we already have a great audience here, and we can get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. I guess I can see some familiar faces here. And anyway, we're excited to have these amazing guests and speakers discussing such an important topic. So I'm Julia Spies. I'm representing the Brazil program at the Inter-American Dialogue, and I'm very pleased to welcome all of you to this important session which marks the second in a series of 3 high-level roundtables and papers of our initiative on sustainable agriculture in Latin America. Just 1 second, I'm just welcoming our director, Bruna Santos. She's joining now. Let me just... Okay. The 3 roundtables and papers for this initiative will culminate and be launched at COP30 in Brazil this November at our Casa Dialogo, our exclusive venue for events and gatherings during the conference in November. So our first session of this initiative took place in June and discussed sustainable ranching, followed by today's roundtable focus on traceability. And finally, our third roundtable scheduled for this October will discuss strategies to curb deforestation. So the idea is to gather experts and other stakeholders and produce papers that align priorities and generate proposals in the context of COP30. This initiative is led by the Brazil program in partnership with Embrapa, Brazil's leading agricultural research institution, WWF, who I can see, I guess, a few people here. And of course, our corporate partners, Marfrig and Arcos Dorados. Hello, Gabriel, Davi. I'm truly grateful to all of you, especially Alexandre, representing Embrapa here, who has also been a keen ally in this initiative. So before starting the roundtable, if anyone is interested in learning more about Casa Dialogo during COP30, please contact me or Bruna Santos, our director, later, and we will be happy to present our ideas and other initiatives so far. I also need to inform you that this roundtable will be recorded and shared later with you all for knowledge purposes. Now, finally starting our discussion on traceability, I'm presenting here our unique guests. First, Ivan Berger, PhD from Embrapa's Digital Agriculture Unity, who will talk about transparency and market access using traceable network data. Followed by Mariana Fontalvo, representing the Brazilian Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock, MAPA, and who will present Brazil's strategy for cattle traceability and individual animal identification. Fabio Montossi, PhD and senior researcher from the National Institute for Agricultural Research, INEA, Uruguay, and who will share Uruguay's integrated meat traceability system. Finally, Marcelo Seco, CEO of Marfrig Uruguay, showing how the meat industry leverages Uruguay's traceability system to add value and meet global meat market standards. And finally, Gabriel Serber, our key partner also in this initiative and the Vice President of Social Impact and Sustainable Development at Arcos Dorados, talking about the role of the private sector in implementing sustainable deforestation-free supply chains. So each speaker will have 10 minutes to give their presentation, and after that we will open the floor to comments and questions from this distinguished audience. And that's it. I guess I look forward to hear all of you. Ivan, over to you.
Can you see the... Yeah, it's fine?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon for everybody. First, I want to thank the organizing committee of this roundtable, Julia, Bruno, and Alexandre. Thank you so much. And also Gabriel, Marcelo, Mariana, and Fabio that are participating in this roundtable. Thank you to be here. I've been studying Brazilian livestock sector for about 18 years while working at Embrapa Pantanal. And you know that Pantanal wetland gather important breeding areas, which are the most challenging in terms of traceability. In my presentation, I will focus on the current state of the Brazilian meat production and on public and private effort to make it more sustainable, transparent, and trustful via data sharing and data science. In the first part of my presentation, I'll show you annual trend analysis of the evolution of the Brazilian herd at global, national, regional, and state level. The analysis is grounded on secondary data of ABIEC, which is the Brazilian Association of Meat Exporting Industries. Then in part two, I will present network analysis of animal exchanges between Brazilian municipalities, and also a global perspective via network analysis of private certification protocols. These protocols are formal arrangements between Brazilian public and private sectors. Globally speaking, current cattle herd size is about 20% of human population, right? And the top 5 meat producers shown in the table gather 45% of the world herd and 51% of the produced meat. The top 5 exporters gather 55% of meat exports, and Brazil is currently at the top position with margins for growing exports. As I will show you, Brazil is steadily improving the wool efficiencies of livestock systems. Since 1997, the Brazilian herd has been increasing at a rate of about 0.76 million heads per year. The current herd is about 200 million heads, and about a quarter of the herd is slaughtered annually. We also observed a clear decrease in the fraction of slaughtered old males, which is currently at a rate of 10%. And that is a clear response of the ongoing transition from extensive to intensive systems, where fattening stage is gaining representation in the whole system. Regionally, there are also interesting trends. While the cattle share fraction in the south, southeast, and central east has been decreasing, in the north and northeast, it is clearly rising. Looking at the annual trends of herd size over the last 20 years, at state and biome levels, rate increases is currently in the states with insertion in the Amazon, in particular in Mato Grosso, Rondônia, Pará, and Acre states. Note also that Mato Grosso do Sul has been drastically decreasing its herd size, which is likely associated with profound changes in rural production dynamics. And looking at the trend in meat production, it also evidences connections with herd size increases, like in Mato Grosso, Rondônia, and Pará, but also with new technology adoptions, as in Mato Grosso do Sul, that shows at the same time the reduction in herd size accompanied by an increase in the efficiency of meat production. That all is aligned with the rate of the pasture land area that has been generally stable or decreasing, but increasing in particular areas including Bahia, Minas Gerais, Maranhão, and Pernambuco. All that together indicates that the increase in meat efficiency production of Brazil is likely associated with efficient reproduction technology adoptions, land use optimization in which pasture lands are converted to sustainable intensive systems, thus providing environmental comfort and high-quality feedstock for livestock management, reflecting in increased rate in feed conversion. And regionally thinking, some regions increased herd size, in particular those in the Mato Piba regions, which means Mato Piba is Maranhão, Tocantins, Piauí, and Bahia states, while the meat production has been increased due to ongoing technology adoption by Brazilian cattle farmers. And the main message that I want to leave here is that Brazil is improving livestock production systems, delivering yearlings with quite positive implications in terms of sustainability. Now I'm going to the second part of my presentation. I will show a research concerning official animal exchange documents, or GTAs, in a municipality called Guia Lopes da Laguna in Mato Grosso do Sul, here is the map showing the position of the municipality. These GTA documents provide information of livestock batch movements to and from Guialopes that has a well-established slaughterhouse named Global for about 30 years. And we use analytical tools for constructing the network and deriving two metrics of centralities that are used to emphasize nodes and links of the network, providing this way useful insights. Nodes represent the municipalities, and the links between nodes are labeled according to the phase of the production. Sorry, I'm going fast because I have only 10 minutes. The graph evidences Guialopes da Laguna as a hub in Mato Grosso do Sul, but also a hub in relation to other states like Goiás, Minas Gerais, Mato Grosso, São Paulo, Rondônia, and Bahia. Looking at the connections, it's possible to realize the nature of the link, which is associated with the reproduction, fattening, or slaughtering phases. It is also to identify dismissed animals. It's interesting to see that because they're returned animals from their origin. So they were sent, but they returned to their origin. And that's where I will discuss why it's important. But before that, temporally speaking, we see clearly in this table that the number of nodes have increased by 2024 in relation to 2022 and 2023. And the insights that we get from that is, the network analysis highlights the increase in recorded exchanges, which is likely a result of network interstate expansion, and the influence of public policies that push sustainable practices. That is also sustained by the increasing the number of dismissed animals by the year 2004, indicating increasing demand for meat quality and certification. So probably these dismissed animals were not following minimal quality requirements, for instance. And the other view of the network analysis, the kind of global analysis, I connect private certifications protocols based on reliable sources, which is CNA, the National Agricultural Confederation, and data also from the Minister of Agriculture of Brazil. And using the same analytical tools as I used it before to do the analysis of Guialopes da Laguna. In short, I have constructed a tripartite network connecting agri-trace protocols with certified slaughterhouses and nations that import certified Brazilian meat. By means of a bipartite analysis network, I created two new networks, one linking slaughterhouses between each other and another linking importer nations. And the picture is like that. In the middle, you have I show a graph with the tripartite network. In one side, the slaughterhouse, in the middle, the protocols of agri-trace, and the other side, the countries in red. In green. And then I can, by this configuration, I can produce two new networks which are specialized according to the geographic coordinates. So I can see how slaughterhouses connect to each other in the country, in Brazil, and also how is the distribution of the main countries that receive this certified meat. From the big picture of this, it's clear that the meat certification with data, using this kind of data, creates a shared governance infrastructure where slaughterhouses clusterize according to participation in protocols for improving governance and shared commitments, while international market seems to drive specific certification protocols, a specific type of meat. Of premium or whatever. And therefore, traceability systems can be also seen as ethical systems embedded in trust and shared values, which easy trade and ethical governance. Moreover, it can improve data interoperability and transparency, empowering public and private institutions to align with sustainable global expectations. In summary, traceability is a strategic need for assessing market niches and sectorial coordination. Now I will show you, I am almost finishing, but I want to show you, in the light of the previous information, what Embrapa has been doing. We are making an effort to create enabling technologies to connect entities in a standardized way, focusing particularly on individual identification. One example is the API BOVTrace, based on tokenized standard data, which has been inspiring the development of new sets of APIs to standardize not only beef, but also other agricultural production chains. So I am finishing my presentation now. I hope I am on time. And I want to deliver the following key takeaways. Firstly, Brazilian beef industry is steadily becoming data-driven, sustainable, and traceable, reflecting in higher productivity and lower environmental impacts. Traceability is essential to access premium markets. Embrapa and partners can together build enabling technology, so very welcome, to provide underlying tissue between institutions, protocol, and market actors. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ivan, especially for keeping to the time. Mariana, I love to hear your perspectives working at MAPA, and which has launched a national traceability plan for the beef sector. So over to you.
Thank you, Julia. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to start with a question. It's not meant to be answered, just consider. In your opinion, does Brazil have cattle traceability? What's your first thought? Recently, I asked ChatGPT the same question, and it answered that for many people, there's still the perception that Brazil lacks proper cattle traceability. Well, my name is Mariana Fontalvo, and I'm honored to be here today representing the Brazilian Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock to tell you, yes, Brazil does have cattle traceability. And now, let me share with you a brief overview. Brazil is currently the largest beef exporter in the world, accounting for approximately 25% of the market share. This leadership is the result of years of hard work, technical excellence, and sustained investment across the production chain. And it did not happen overnight. It reflects the continuous efforts of producers, industry, and above all, the essential role of Brazil's official veterinary service, which has been fundamental in guaranteeing animal health, food safety, and international confidence. Animal traceability system has been part of our livestock since 1934, and it was formalized through the law 12,097 in 2009. The law defines traceability as the ability to trace an animal or a group of animals and their products throughout the production chain. In 2012, Brazil was officially recognized by the World Organization for Animal Health as a negligible risk country for bovine spongiform encephalopathy, medical disease, meaning that the risk of this disease in our country tends to zero. More recently, in May 2025, Brazil was also recognized by the WOH as a country free of foot and mouth disease without vaccination. These two diseases are known by their significant impact on livestock, trade, and especially public health. Without a robust traceability system and an effective sanitary control, this achievement would not have been possible. Such recognition affirms the sound structure of Brazil's national programs, sanitary protocols, and animal health governance. But even what is good can be improved. So that's why I'm proud to present to you our next step forward, the PNIB. PNIB stands for National Plan for Individual Identification of Cattle and Buffaloes. You can know more about PNIB by scanning this QR code. Let's say something more brief now. We have 4 key pillars in PNIB. First, individual identification. Before their first movement, the animals are individually tagged with tamper-proof device, ensuring unique and standardized identification nationwide. Second, animal health monitoring. Individual identification enables more precise sanitary control and faster response to health issues. Third, supply chain transparency. PNIB provides end-to-end visibility from farm to final destination, supporting sanitary control and market confidence. And finally, database integration. PNIB connects the federal and state platforms in a unified system. Now that we have covered the strategic foundation of PNIB, let's take a look at how it will be implemented. The implementation follows a phased and strategic timeline. By the end of this year, 2025, the official federal system will be fully developed and operational. In 2026, each state must integrate their own system into the federal platform. From 2027 to 2029, animals managed in specific official animal health programs will be individual identified. And finally, starting on 2030, it will be required mandatory identification for all animals nationwide prior to the first movement. We are talking about almost 1/4 billion heads of cattle in Brazil. So a collaborative approach is essential in order to achieve this goal. The government sets regulations, conducts inspections, and manages official data. The private sector applies animal ID and invests in traceability tools. And the civil society monitors compliance and advocates for transparency. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here and to share a bit about Brazilian cattle traceability system. If you have any question, please contact us. This is our QR code, our email, you can send us. And to close my presentation, I would like to paraphrase Frank Sinatra. Let's spread the news. Brazil does have cattle traceability. Thank you.
Wonderful, Mariana. Thank you so much. Now let's hear Fabio on Uruguay's traceability system and how we can learn from it.
If you don't mind, I need the space to make my presentation. So, Mariana, please. Yep. So taking advantage of this time, just to say thank you very much for the invitation, a pleasure and an honor to be here to share the information from Uruguay with you. And thank you in particular to Alexander and Bruna for the invitation and be part of this dialogue. And thank you, Juliana. So I wait a little bit. So I have
Juliana,
more.
could you help me to
Yeah,
stop
I
my
have 2 more
presentation? I
minutes
can't
right
have.
now.
I'm not finding the button here. Please, could you help me?
It's on the upper level, I guess, Mariana. Let me see if I can help you.
Thank you.
Just a bit introduction what I am doing. So I am working in the National Research Agricultural Institution in Uruguay, quite similar to Embrapa, right, Ivan? So I am talking from that side, right? From the technological and the research side. Right. So let me share my presentation with you. I hope that you can see my presentation. I'm going to expand. Yep. Can you see it? That's okay. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to talk about the Uruguayan experience in traceability, right? But first of all, I would like to address that this is part of a vision that Uruguay started at the late 90s. Uruguay has a long history in traceability, but grouping traceability, right? So means that through the time, this vision had been shared and every new administration had built it up from the previous one to reach where we are right now, right? Something that is important. So we are a small nation. So it's very important that to know that Uruguayan cattle and the sector related to Uruguayan cattle is very influential on our economy and the social importance of the cattle production and exportation is crucial. And the second issue is that we need to differentiate and adding value to our products in order to get the most from our cattle because it's so important for Uruguay. So we are based on quality rather than quantity. So in this sense, we like to share that thinking about sustainable growth, we are not thinking that we are just produce and export meat. At the end, we are exporting trust. That is the important thing that we like to share with you. And this is an example where if we see that we are not selling animal, even meat, we are selling trust. So it's very important which are the base of the trust, because at the end is a key issue when we are dealing with exportation markets. So, and I like to emphasize the role of traceability on that, because it's a bridge. It's like an open window for new opportunities for the country upon the production system of Uruguay. So it's important to say that Uruguay has 100% individual traceability in the herd, right? So it's something like to say that each animal has his own passport, right? International passport, right? So every animal has a visual tag and also a RFID chip that can be used as a transparency tool and as a competitive tool and a guarantee tool. So this is not a new system. As I told you, in 1974, we start with the group traceability, but the program for the individual traceability started in 2004, and we have full individual traceability in the year 2010, right? So we know which animal born in each operation, and also we know the life of that animal through the whole cattle chain, right? So another important thing is links with health, food safety, and market access, and also is a very important tool coordination between the private and the public sector, right?
Excuse me,
And
Fabio.
also, sorry,
Just to let you know that the slides are not moving on, but
no,
doesn't
no.
matter. We are hearing you quite well, so if you would
So,
like to keep going, it will be fine.
I would like to take it out and start again. Sometimes happen these things. The important thing is don't get nervous.
Yeah, no worries.
No, the clock is ticking. Take care.
You just need to
Well,
open, I think, to share
yeah,
from
I am,
the
yeah,
on the Word.
yeah. So
Right? Yeah, we can see now.
Now it's
Yeah.
are
updated.
you seeing that?
Good.
So
Yes.
good. Okay, good. Go ahead. So the problem when I did that, I cannot move my presentation. So I'm gonna do something different. So I will not use the span one. I'm going to use the small one. Sorry about that. Sometimes happen. I normally work on the Teams platform. Could be the case. So
It's always a challenge to deal with the Zoom.
always a challenge, these
There's
things.
no excuses. No excuses.
So you are my friend, no? Supposed to be, no?
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. With friend with you, I prefer enemies. Yeah. So let me try.
We can see it, the same one.
Yeah, but I cannot pass for the next slide. That's the problem.
If you want, you can send here on the chat, and I can share it with you, and then I can change it.
Yeah, please do that. Yeah, give me 1 second to get the presentation there, right? So, okay. Let me try. I don't get the chat. So, I want to do something. Start again. Yep. Mhm. So are you seeing the presentation right now?
Yes, but
The first one. Yeah, the first one. Yeah. So let me have a look if I starting again. So I am moving. Are you see that the next slide? No?
no.
No, it's not moving.
Fabio,
Let's
maybe you can continue your
Yeah.
presentation just to make sure we stay on track, and we can
Yeah.
share with the rest of the guests later.
Good.
Yeah, we can see moving now, Fabio. If you just touch the next
Yeah.
slide, I think it will move. Yeah, we can see now.
You
Moving.
can see now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see moving. If you
Now it's
touch slide by
in-
slide, and then we can see the
exactly.
movement.
Okay, good. So I try to share that another thing that we try to align is our traceability with the demanding of the market, particularly United States, Europe, and China. And that is the base for so many certification and adding value to our production system. You can see right now different labels and marketing tools that are using based on the breed, based on the production system, based on the type of tool that we like to differentiate our products. And it's very important for the marketing of our meat around the world and to keeping sustainable production system based on animal welfare and different standards to prove that we are sustainable, right? So the other thing that is very important is that from our side, from the science side, is that we are using, I just give 2 examples because of the short of the time. In theory, we can really use our 12 million cattle for a genetic improvement program, because linking traceability, linking our base, our data, linking our technology tools, we can do that between the private and the public sector. Actually, we have a big programs in beef, particularly with Angus and also with Herefords. And also from the classification and adding value of our carcass, we are using that technology like a blockchain approach to use the same thing, the same system. And coming to the end, thinking in that all these tools can be used for benchmarking our productivity and sustainability metrics, which is very important, not be good, really to show that we are good, and also to be certified that we are good. So we can choose high-performance systems, high-performance animals, high-performance practices. We can following up animal welfare, animal health, and biosecurity risk. And also, we can use the new technology, artificial intelligence technologies in our livestock system. So I think it's our next step. We have some examples that are being succeed in our production system, but I think our approach is thinking in the whole country for that. And thinking to match, align production system with consumer, I think we have a lot of pillars, but I would like to stress in some of them. Product and process certification, branding, labeling, traceability from farm to the consumer, of course, robust science and technology foundation on that, right? And marketing and communication. So I think the long legacy of Uruguay doing that, I think have been part of the trust that we have from our clients around the world. And I think there is each animal has telling a story and also is receiving the trustness of our consumers. And I think traceability is more than biosecurity or sanitary control. It's really a great tool, really, to move our livestock production and exportation to the next level, thinking in the whole sustainability approach for Uruguay. And thank you very much. And sorry for the interruption of the presentation, right? Muito obrigado.
Thank you so much, Fabio. I love the final slide. Okay, finally, Marcelo, over to you.
Well done, Fabio.
Thank you.
We can see it.
Now it's okay for you?
Yes.
Okay, so let's quick. Thanks again. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, my brothers of Arcos Dorados, to invite me to join you. It's an honor. We are quite used to work together with investigation and so on. But just for you to remind a little bit a quick things. When you said Uruguay, this is Uruguay. 43 million acres, 3.5 million people, and 12 million cows. Okay, that's Uruguay. So we grow up, every day we wake up in the morning and we need to export worldwide at as best country as possible, so at best value as possible. So beef for us is a challenge every day. So since 2006, 100% of cattle under Traceability, we have a system, very strict system. It's some of the benefits to be small, that protect the native forests, and they have to have every farmer declaration, and we have a well-known center of reference in animal welfare. Our energy is absolutely clean, all more than 90. Every day you can check which is the percent, but the average is between 96, 98% of the energy is renewable. We have a Ministry of Environmental. We emit we have bonds emitted related to climate change, and it's a very small and very political stable country. And since, as well as Fabio says, we started very long time ago in 1974 with tracing the farm, the group of cattle that came from one farm. This was during the military government in 1974. And then in 2004, we started pilot. It was at the same time that New Zealand started. I remember it was in New Zealand, 1st of July 2004. It says no tag, no beef. No, so there's no way. And in Uruguay, it's the same way. No, it's mandatory. There's no chance to discuss, and we love to discuss. So since then, we start every year completing the step by step, and one of our targets was the last year Europe regulation and so on. We have many official challenge, and as Fabio shows, it's very well integrated since the animal is born up to the final dispatching. But there are two figures, very important figures. No, one is the national system of integrate that refers to animal farmers ID, all is officially regulated, and the other system or base is that refers to all the information that you can keep from one animal inside a packing plant when you read that. So this is very, the design of the system is very important, because there's so many actors dealing with, no, and quickly you every movement, we still have papers for each movement over the lecture of the internet link with the radio frequency and so on. So you can trace every movement, and every day you can check and you can trace your movement. Depends on the level of authority that you have. No matter if you move it for whatever, or at the end to go to a slaughter or to export live weight, no matter, it's under a system. So that national system of information, that SNIG, is of course internet based with online analytical processing, with a strong data warehouse linked to the system that refers to geographic information, and of course related to documents. And in that link that we link animal traceability, farms, and so on, we also start adding information, as Fabio said, not only information about the animal, and so also information about where the animal is. Each farm has an ID number here in Uruguay, no matter how big it is or how small it is, that refers to a political section that it's mandatory to be controlled by that movement by the police. And now you can see and relate animal footprint to the land that we are produced. But I'm in the beef sector. I grew up in the beef sector. I still have the challenge to conduct this company here in Uruguay, and I be involved in the region also. But as everybody knows, no, health and safe warranty, consumer confidence, we need to export, add value. We cannot compete in commodities. So Uruguay is a very value-added product, and this is part of our focus as a company, as a country. This is why we are here in this business. The online information and the warranties for all the stakeholders involved in this chain, transparency, whatever, to the financial sector, political sector, whatever, certification that is, and research support, everything that we have done and we are doing, that I will show you quick is well supported with that database and integrate strength and experience. So that's the way you have to have that tool, very strong tool to integrate and to keep on. And every day in Uruguay, that remember we are 3 million, at least 3 million people, so we need to export. Every day that you process beef, you have sort of this challenge, no? A lot of process under certification, not only traceability, GMP, SSOP, HACCP, animal welfare programs, a lot of NAMI or private sectors or McDonald's. We are supplying McDonald's since 1996. So we have a long story together with that. And that value added, we have a lot of successful works experience across the whole history of the traceability, plus the whole supply chain. No, it's something that you have to integrate it. In beef, it's quite strange that word, because it's a very long cycle, but integrated means that means like that, no? Being working with Arcos for many years and connecting certainties. And this is an example that we are running now, for example, using the database platform that is an example of it's a project that it's our INEA is inside, our national agents of investigation also here, and free private actors. Talking about what we have a 3-time, imagine this business that goes up and down, 3 years project adding environmental value to livestock. We need to validate all of the information that we keep from the market, because when we export and we label certain things, it has to be very true validated. So all is under this over this platform. We are coordinating efforts with a index, ecosystemic index at every farm, validation, but do the validation of the research, education in land, farming education is supporting their research, and this is related to regenerative Uruguayan topics. So this is at the end, adding value. That's the way. This is where we are involved in this, all of this mess or all of this challenge. And it's INEA, ANI, Arcos, Bella, and us are working together in this project, and we hope to. We are very good news next month, at the end of this month, and we are closing this project next year, hopefully. And at the same at the same example is what we have done to solve this European demand that we have many years. Imagine in a country that has no chance to export, we are absolutely open to demands. And also we have adding technology over that. We are adding technology. This is in case of a blockchain supporting brand, adding technology to food service customers that it's related to put extra technology over that. So this is where I am now. Testing and improving the tool. So test, and remember, you have to improve the tool. We are now in a national challenge of improving this that we have started many years ago. No matter the price, no matter what happens, if it's rough or not, you have to coordinate efforts. It's a challenge in big countries, but it's very simple. But the barrier are absolutely humans. Flow the consumer signals into the beef chains. This is something that that the farming system has to be aligned. It's mandatory, and that's the only way to add genuine value to the beef chain. This is in a quick view what we have done, in what we are with certain key customers like Arcos. And this is in my opinion, my modest opinion, the future of the beef chain in a very small and big country in terms of beef product. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcelo. Thank you so much. Gabriel, finally over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Julia. I don't have a presentation,
That's
and I
completely
want to congratulate. I'm going to list and name each one of the persons and the key topics that I believe were touched upon. Number one, Ivan at Embrapa for taking care of what's important. Pantanal is, going through some tough times, and it's really, really good to see work being done there. Number two, Mariana, I was very happy to see the PENIB initiative, and I want to congratulate MAPA on being actually part of the solution to this very big challenge of traceability in Brazil. I also want to say, very good job, Fabio. You were, even though the presentation did not work, you were very diligently going through each one of the topics, and I remark the word trust that you mentioned as one of the most important ones across the presentation. And finally, Marcelo, for putting all of the resources and tools to work so we can all contribute in being part of the solution. So, Marcelo, you mentioned one word, consumer. At Arcos Dorados, we face 4 million consumers per day. And I'm really happy to be the last one here because all of the important things you have already mentioned. But I want to bring one piece of data that I think is really touching on everything that you have mentioned across your presentations. Every year, we conduct a materiality assessment. Materiality means what are the most important topics for society from a reputational and trust perspective, and also from a financial perspective. So it's a matrix where we put the responses from more than 20,000 people across Latin America that we interview year after year. So in the last materiality assessment that we conducted for last year, the topic that has the most importance in terms of perception, reputation, and trust, in combination with financial impact, is exactly what we've been talking about today. Food safety, sourcing responsibilities, and origin of the food. Those are the expectations of the customers that we, as a customer-facing brand, have every day, and we rely and we work with all of you on the value chain to make sure that these things happen. So I repeat that again. The most important material topic from a reputational perspective and from a brand trust perspective and from a financial perspective is safe, nutritious food along with responsible sourcing. People want to know where food comes from. And it's great to hear what Embrapa is doing, what MAPA is doing, what INAI is doing, what Marfrig is doing, which is because it all ends in a cheeseburger at McDonald's. So that's why all of these topics are very, very much interconnected. And I will not going to repeat anything that you already mentioned, but I want to leave you with one more thought here. For us, at Arcos Dorados, and for McDonald's as well, this is not about compliance. This is not a legal requirement that we must follow. This is a strategic capability that the company must build, must execute, and it's also a competitive advantage for us. Because what you guys are doing at Embrapa, at INAI, at MAPA, at Marfrig, ends up in our products facing the customer. And we take this very, very seriously. Again, not from a compliance perspective, but from a strategic capability that creates trust in the society. So I know we have an audience here eager to pose questions, Julia. So since I don't have a presentation, and most of the contents were very well covered by this, brilliant audience. Now you know what the consumer is thinking. So I think it's a very good bridge to hear some of the questions that the audience might have.
That's great. Thank you so much, Gabriel, and thank you all for being here and for presenting excellent remarks and for helping me tracking the time. So as Gabriel said, we have here a high level of group of guests, including civil society like WWF, sector organizations like ABIEC and CNA, and highly relevant companies that are also interested in being part of the solutions, such as Cargill and Bunge. So I'm excited to hear your comments and thoughts and questions. You can please raise your hand using the reaction button, and then we can start from there. Francisco?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to hear such a brilliant presentations from all of you. Thank you. You all brought, I think, very important insights of about individual animal traceability, how it will be good to have this for the Brazilian livestock sector, mainly the cattle sector. So thank you for this. I work for National Wildlife Federation, and we have been working with traceability and monitoring the cattle sector since the last 10 years, since 2015, for the last 10 years. And yeah, I agree with Mariana from MAPA. We do have a traceability system in Brazil. It is, even though it is a batch level traceability tool, GTA has its limitations, but it also brings many benefits for the cattle sector. So I think that we need to value what we have. And I have, in this sense, I have two questions. I think that one could be for Mariana and the other one for Ivan. For Mariana, I think that we all understand here from what we heard, mainly from Gabriel from McDonald's, that more than or beyond sanitary concerns, we also have other concerns regarding social and environmental criteria that we need to answer to the market, mainly to the final consumers, but not only for beef, but also for leather and other products. So what are the plans that we have in MAPA to share the information from PNID to other proposals beyond sanitary control? What are the plans to do these so we can also have the same traceability system being used for other proposals, for environmental control, for social control, and etc. And to Ivan, I am an agronomist. I've been working here in Mato Grosso for the last 30 years, almost 30 years. And I completely agree with you. But what I don't see happening in the ground is that producers are really taking over all this kind of information and really using these in their daily daily operations, in the management of their ranch, and to make better decisions in their ranch. And I think that this would be key for a large-scale adoption of individual animal traceability in Brazil. So producers can take better and more informed decisions using everything that they have from an individual animal traceability system. So what do we need to do to make this bridge between all the information that we have and transform, or better say, all the data that we have and transform this data into information so producers can make more informed decisions. Thank you all.
Thank you, Francisco. Ivan, Mariana.
Okay, thank you, Francisco. It was a really good question. As a consumer, I'm concerned about these questions too, social, environmental, of course. But speaking in name of the Department of Animal Health, we can't talk about this because it's not in our competence. But I can say that the system it will allow API integration, and I would ask you to send us your question, and we'll be happy and try to give you more details about it. Thank you.
Hi, Francisco. Thank you for your question. And well, it's a very hard question to answer, but I think that there is a lot of data. The problem is not the availability of data. The problem is how data is arranged, is structured, and how this data is transformed into information that returns to the producers. And I think this is a job of mostly of associations of producers. I think if they have TI workers, you know, I mean IT workers, so they can make use of these data sets more intelligently, and then giving feedback for producers to in a broad view, not only for one and another producer, but locally. Look in the region and look in how one producer has, I don't know, one animal per hectare, but why you are not increasing your stocking rate? If you do this like this. So I think it needs more, the flow of information must be increased in some way, but I believe that that can be done by Embrapa, but we are doing research, and an extension agency would be far better for that. And CNA and CNR, that is the arm of the CNA, I am sure they are working very hard on that. So thank you, Francisco.
Thank you. Any more questions, comments? Okay. So I would have one question. I'm not so sure if Mariana or Ivan, but I wanted to understand what can Brazil learn considering other markets' experiences, not only Uruguay, but for example, the US FDA's food traceability rule. What can we learn, and what would be the next step in terms of especially unifying so many stakeholders that are involved in the topic in Brazil?
Hi, Julia. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Brazil has done research in other countries. Recently, a team went to Australia to see, because the size of the countries, some similarities, and they have 100% of the cattle identified. United States don't have yet, and Uruguay has a good example, is a good example for us. It's a good initiative. And because our herd is really a big herd, and we have a lot of different challenges depending on the state, different social biomes, economics realities. And for example, Pantanal, Amazonia they have specific ways to get it. So it's a huge challenge for Brazil, and we are counting with all of you, that collaborative approach that I said. It's important. We know about it, the concern about environmental. Yes, that's it.
Can I complement, Mariana?
Certainly.
Just one thing that I think it's really important is that I think that most of the countries, they have full cycle. They produce from breed to the slaughterhouse. And in Brazil, as you said, in Pantanal you have breeders, and in the Cerrado you have fatteners. So there are lots of cattle movement in the country. So that's the real challenge. Because in Mato Grosso do Sul, for instance, you have the PROAP, which stimulates the producers to enter in the traceability system, but they cannot know the beginning of where the cattle has born. So they usually can pay for this the system for the last one that delivered the cattle to the slaughterhouse. So it's hard to know the other movements that the cattle came from. That's the real challenge of the country. So it's hard to make marks on every animal, because you have 200 million animals. So it's very expensive to do that. And Embrapa, and I am participating in a project that heard CNA. They want a system that identify the animals, like the cameras in the city identify people, like using artificial intelligence. That would be the dream, I think, for Brazil, to a system that can recognize each animal by cameras and all this stuff. That is a scientific challenge for us.
Okay, Bruna?
Question for our Uruguayan colleagues here in the call. I wanted to hear more from them about how achieving like 100% traceability in their view, has strengthened Uruguay's like bargaining power in trade negotiations. How, if they can share some examples, and like especially given their experience, especially for Marfrig CEO in Uruguay.
Well, Bruna, just remember we are a small country between two big brothers, Brazil and Argentina, inside regions that sometimes politically we need to be together, negotiation also with Paraguay and so on. So this is something very tough, certainly, but going straight to examples, or going straight into warrant, how simple question that we have a meat board, a very strong meat board in Uruguay that is really works. That's INAC. Every Monday, it's a farmers, industry, and the government. every Monday. Okay, so we have of course, we manage a lot of a big budget. It's like how does it? It's like the Australian MLA, but it's with the government inside, no? And but going back into how you can, or if you are close to your approaching your questions, is which is your payback, or which was your payback in terms of the huge investment you did to put all the farmers, no matter if you have one cow or whatever, you have to be in the system. We solved some food amount restrictions to Canada and US 2001. We re-enter to US and Canada more quicker than the Argentina that was allowed in 2001. They approved our stock in transit to enter into Canada because we have the lot day. In that dates was a lot day. The deboning was lot day, so you have the farms that include in that lot day was not individual trace packing. But so for that kind of discussion that was in the that sometimes is very difficult to achieve just talking or without a very political powerful team, we have success to be, I don't know exactly if we were too small, or it was like a poor guy that like, hey, poor guys, there's just only 3 million people there in the middle of two big brothers. But really we could demonstrate that the sanitary risk in terms of certain illness we have under control. The same as residues, the same as heavy metals, the same as ivermectin, that sometimes it's quite on fashion, because what is true is that there is not one rule in the world. No, we are so used to have these rule changes every day, and now it's on fashion. But no matter what, we use that like this is the only heavy things that we have in terms of technical to support the political discussion of sometimes to solve these sanitary issues. In terms of creating value from a private sector and so on, of course, it makes sense. No? It makes sense that some retailers or like Whole Foods or some or Arcos also want to design a project that be 100% sure the origin and blah blah blah. So let's go back to this small country that it makes sense. That is very easy to control that. So, but it's something that every year we discuss openly with the government, because it costs a lot of money, and we are renewing the system. We are opening the technical renewing system proposal that is going to be end of this year, in terms of applying more technology over the technology we have over that. It says, I don't know, in terms of database and so on. You know, it's something that when you get in, you have to pay the bill every year, and the farmers pay that bill, and the industry pay that bill. But it's the same as you mentioned in Brazil. No, there's so many factors that in Uruguay there's no way. That's the only way to sell Uruguay. For you to have an idea, 30% of the beef that we eat in Uruguay is imported, and we export 85% of the beef. So we try to import good and cheaper beef. Of course, we keep some beef from the rest of the packers, and we are focused on exporting every day. And we drink mate as usual a lot.
Can I add something, Marcelo?
Yes, for
If
sure.
it matters. Yeah. So it looks like we are a small country, which is true, but this system is so sophisticated. So we are talking about 45,000 farming operation, right? 12 million cattle, right? And every year, the movement of cattle for selling or buying is 350,000 movements. So it's a very sophisticated system that we have in place, right? So it's something that is part of the challenge. But I like to address 4 words during that. Because at the beginning, when we discussed, I was part of that, talking about the beginning. Marcelo was there too, right? The question there was, who going to pay the bill, right? But now we don't really, of course, sometimes we start again with these things, but there is no resistance to the system because we are getting back what we put at the beginning, right? So, and there are 4 keywords there: mandatory, digital, transparent, and public system. It's a public system policy that has been, and no administration have changed it. So the last so many years, we are talking about 3 decades. Nobody like to change it. So improve it, yes, of course, and we have a lot of things to improve, particularly how we use that data in the benefit of Uruguay. I think it's a big challenge that is linked with Ivan said just 30 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago. Thank you, Bruna.
Thank you, Fábio. Alexandre?
All right, thank you, Julia. Thank you so much for the speakers. Great presentations. Thank you so much. Now, just to address quick questions. The first to Mariana. Even from the animal health perspective, Mariana, how do you see the top priority challenges to get to make this traceability a reality among the farmers and running efficiently everywhere in Brazil? Second question is to Ivan. From the technological point of view, what are the top priority challenges? And does it represent much investments for farmers in that perspective? And the third question is addressed, please, to Arcos Dorados. From the consumer and market perspective, how do you see the top priority challenges to make the traceability in Brazil a reality as well? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The most, I think, the challenge is to educate the farmers straight to the point, because we have huge difference depending on the region in Brazil, as you know, and each state will be responsible for the implementation through their OESA. We call OESA, the State Animal Health Implementing Body. Each state has one. And each state will define the best strategic to do this. But I can say that to educate the farmers is the challenge here.
Now,
Hi, sorry. Hi, Alexandre. Well, your question concerned costs of technology. I think that's not the point. The issue is how producers organize themselves to make the costs less for everyone. And I think that AgriTrace platform of CNA is a good example of how also the other point of the chain, the slaughterhouse, can organize all this chain to make this cost more distributed between all actors. The thing is, the technologies that I think that must be followed, there are two main gaps that need to be researched. One is the standardization of data. Everyone must talk the same language for making data to flow between different databases. So using these APIs and everything. And if you don't talk the same language, we cannot have a big picture of the production system. So standardization, data standardization is one big issue. And another one is animal recognition individually. How can we lower the cost of this recognition? And I believe that images, the recognition by cameras is the most promising, but we are very far from that because we need lots, millions of billions of images, because what makes possible the recognition of humans in the street is that we have lots, billions and billions of images to train the models, the AI models, the artificial intelligence models. So if you don't have this data source, we cannot develop the model to recognize the cat. So not the union, but the cooperation to achieve this data set of images, I think it's a good step to start developing this, to improve and go forward in this challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Gabriel, for the last
Yes,
question.
absolutely. And thank you for the question. I have four, I think we can categorize in 4 key priorities. And number 1 is the origin. Where are the things we consume coming from? Who's producing them? Where are they being manufactured? Where are they being packaged? Where they come from? So I think more and more people want to know the history behind the foods we eat. So and I go to the next priority, being transparent about where things come from and who actually produces them, it's critical. Customers really want to know who are the farmers, who is breeding the meat that they eat. And you can see that this is an interesting piece of information. For the past 10 or 20 years, the growth on the farmers market business, it's been growing about 10 to 12% a year, meaning that more and more people go to farmers market to buy the products. Why is that? Because there's a name, there's a person there, you can talk to them, you see their products, you can touch them. So it's important that we are very transparent about the origin of food. And of course, also how companies, Marfrig and Arcos Dorados, in collaboration with Embrapa and the governments in Brazil and Uruguay, are actually part of the solution in, for instance, protecting the forests and the different biomes that we have across our region, whether it's the Gran Chaco in Argentina, Paraguay, or whether it's Pantanal and Cerrado and the Amazon biome, being part of the ecosystem that works together with non-government organizations like WWF, for instance, in the various places, right? So the number 4 priority, I think, is how we come together to resolve one of the biggest issues currently being discussed, and those are the greenhouse gas emissions. How can we, with the help of governments, research institutions, third-party sectors, and the private sectors, we all come together to make sure that we can produce the food we need in a way that is good for the society, good for the planet, and good for businesses as well. So I think those are, Alexandre, like the 4 priorities that we have in our radar when it comes to producing and offering food to millions and millions of people across 21 countries in Latin America where we operate, and the other 140 or 50 other places and countries where McDonald's brand is present as well. So it's a collaborative. No, none of us can resolve this on their own. We all need to be working together. So that's the priorities that we have on our plate, Alexandre.
Thank you, Gabriel, and all the speakers. Excellent.
Thank you, Gabriel. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to conclude this conversation. Thank you all. Thank you, each one of the speakers, for agreeing to participate. It has been a very interesting conversation. As I said before, we will share the recording link with everyone that participate. And please reach out if you have any questions, and we will invite all the guests for our next roundtable on deforestation set to take place in October. Thank you all again. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Julia. It was
Bye-bye.
great.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.